Hello and welcome to the channels of Metamon and Racing Network. Tonight we are broadcasting round 6 of Full Throttle Simracing's IndyCar series for the Roval 150. We've had a little bit of a shake-up in the standings after a chaotic race at Pocono last week. Lukey was the last week's race winner, and it's his first time in victory lane this season in the reigning champ. So is this a return of form and a good charge to sort of defend his championship title this season? We'll wait and see if that reign of form continues. But it's a young gun for Sunstars Esports in Ryan Barber, who holds the championship lead as we speak. And, as a result of Darren Mckenzie's DNF last week, has gifted his young teammate the championship lead. So, as I said, a very chaotic round last week. Are we going to see similar fortunes this week for some of the top running guys? We'll wait and see. But yeah, first road course of the season. It's going to be a very technical challenge tonight. So really it's anyone's race to win tonight. So I'm really looking forward to this one. So the guys are just cracking up a practice session here. We're just transitioning over to qualifying. So nothing has changed. Everything remains the status quo with how qualifying works. So yeah, everyone will get a 2-lap dash, 2 laps to get as far up as on the grid as possible. So not being an oval circuit tonight, it's really anyone's game. You have realistically 2 shots at it on a road course. So if you stuff up lap 1, you do have another chance on lap 2. So going to see a lot of guys send it heading into turn 1, trying to maximise speed through the infield. That's going to be the most important section tonight. So we'll wait and see who's actually the bravest on the brakes, and obviously the most gutsy on the accelerator coming out of corner exit, stuff like that. It's so pivotal in maximising your performance outright. So we'll wait and see what happens tonight. So we'll just get the timings up on screen. So we've got a pretty populated field tonight as well, which is very good to see. We'll hop on board with Darren Mckenzie. Chaotic round last week for him. A DNF sees him go down in the championship standings. Was the championship leader last week. Can he regain his momentum that he had in the first 4 rounds of the season? So here we go. He's going to start his hot lap here around Charlotte Roval. He's got to be very gutsy on the brakes heading into turn 1, using every bit of road on exit. Nothing left on the outside. So in your apexes to perfection. Accelerator inputs absolutely pivotal. Don't want to be too heavy on the brakes either. Very easy to lock up in an IndyCar, although it has a lot of grip. It's very easy to lock up, no doubt. Getting every bit of the inside apron there on corner entry. Here we go. Natural banked section on Charlotte Roval. Fastest section in the circuit heading into the chicane. It's a very technical chicane, this one. Drivers just going to have to be really careful when it comes race time. So 106.4 is the benchmark time right now from Davey. What has Mckenzie got in store for us? So Malone goes half a second down. There we go, 105.4. We were seeing a 104 in practice. Wait and see if that can crack up in this qualifying session. So it's Mckenzie, Davey, Malone, Noble, Campbell. So 5 drivers out on track. Already recorded the time. We're pretty much separated by just over 3 seconds throughout the whole field so far within that top 5. So this second go around is going to be absolutely important for a lot of these drivers that have set in their banker lap here. So we'll hop on board with Matty Simpson. He's had the last 2 poles in the series. And we've got Pratt moving up in the P2. He's barely off the pace of Darren Mckenzie in P1. So he's going to have to come up with a blistering lap next time around Zerkart. Started on the front row for the last 2 weeks. Currently sitting in P7, so not on form for him so far. Simpson moves up in the P5. We'll stay on board with him with this lap. Let's see what he's got in store for us. A fair bit off the pace so far. Ryan Barber, the young gun, championship leader, moves up in the P6. So we got 10 minutes qualifying in this session, so it gives the drivers a lot more time to get out on track and put in those benchmark times that they require. So Mckenzie is still provisional pole over Pratt, Davey, Malone, Noble. That's your top 5. And we've got Simpson, Bullock, and Barber, Campbell, Zerka. That's your top 10. And then Casio in P11 there. So for now, we're on board with Matty Simpson. Can he make it free from free poles on the trot here? We'll wait and see. Pritchard moves up in the P6. So Simpson down in the P7 now. Catacasinos moves up in the P4. Wonderful lap from him. 7.5 tenths off Mckenzie. Bryant moves up in the P3, a tenth off the pace. Simpson, what's this going to be for him? Not going to improve. So he's going to have to park it up and start from what could be potentially outside the top 10, which is where we're not used to seeing him based on the last 2 weeks season form for him. And Schultz goes P1. Like I said, a 1:04 was the benchmark time in practice. And Schultz out of nowhere with a 1:04.7. He's completely blitzed Mckenzie for pole position so far. What a wonderful lap from Aiden Schultz there. Now, he is the form driver when it comes to road courses, so there's no surprise there for a lot of the Aiden Schultz fans watching right now. So we'll see if we can actually, he's actually parked up, so trying to see if anyone's still out on track. Trying to hop on board with Julian here. So here we go, we're on board with the reigning champ. Last week's race winner. Hoping that form continues tonight, so we'll wait and see what he's got in store for us on this second go around for qualifying. So he's currently stuck in P8, 4th row start for him so far. There's still a lot to be gained from this time here. Currently not recording personal best, so provisionally won't be able to improve from P8. So we've got 20 cars recording a time so far. We've still got Dave Oliver, Catacasinos, Harvey, Rankin. Those guys are still out on track. But as for Julian, he's parked up, so he's done and dusted for qualifying. Up on board with Harvey here. Let's see what he's up to. Just trying to get up to speed here. He might be done for qualifying as well. We'll wait and see as he crosses the control line. Actually, Catacasinos is on a very fast lap here. So let's see what he's up to. He's currently sitting in P9. A personal best in sectors 1 and 2. So potentially could move up on this lap if he can hold on to it for the remainder 2 sectors. So we're about to get that differential coming out of sector 3. Another personal best for Catacasinos. Heading into the chicane section now. Very easy on the throttle. Maximising corner exit there around the bank corner for the last corner here. Heading into another chicane to end the lap here at Charlotte Roval. There's not many overtaking opportunities at Charlotte. It's track you're just going to have to try get into a groove and try get track position to come out victorious tonight. So as for Aiden Schultz, he's got track position at the top. He's barely beat Oliver, who's sitting in P2, just shy of 1/10 of a second down. He'd be really kicking himself. That time really could have been gained out of nowhere, and he'd really be assessing where he could have gained it. So Mckenzie's still off the pace as well. 2.5 tenths of a second down from Oliver. So top three separated by 3/10 of a second. Rankin, he's had decent form in the IndyCar series so far, up in the P4. Pratt rounds at top 5. So we've got Hamilton out on track. Let's see what he's up to. He's got a couple green sectors. It's always a good sign. So 40 seconds to play, so everyone's really got to get moving here if they haven't recorded their qualifying laps yet. As for Hamilton, 3 green sectors. Where's this going to put him? Coming out the last chicane now. Oh, very loose on corner entry, and he's lost it on corner exit, the last corner. 3 green sectors and unable to improve there. So here we go, we're transitioning over to the race now. So we'll have a look at your starting grid for round 6 of Full Throttle Sim Racing's IndyCar series. So here's your official grid for round 6. It'll be Aiden Schultz, who will take pole position for the first road course of the season. Alongside him, Dave Oliver, just shy of 1/10 of a second down. Darren Mckenzie in P3. A chaotic race for him last week at Pocono. Let's see what he can do, and hoping to return the form here. Scott Rankin, he's had a very consistent series so far. Unfortunately for him, also a chaotic race last week. We'll start from P4. Pratt and Brian on row 3. Davey, and then the reigning champ in P8 in Mookie. Then we got the Catacazinos. He's had a race victory this season. Then we got Ryan Barber, the young gun, rounds out your top 10. Then we got Adam Malone coming out of P11, just outside the top 10. And then we got Noble in P12. That's your 6th row. So we'll go further down. So then we have Tom Pritchard, Matty Simpson, who had the last 2 pole positions in the last 2 weeks. Unfortunately not able to bring the form to a road course here at Charlotte Roval. Then we have Charlie Coleman and Tristan Koch in P15 and 16. Go further down in P17, Brian Bullock. He's in the top 10 in the championship standings. Not a good qualifying performance from him. Brett Campbell, also the same goes for him. He'll be looking to make as much positions as possible on the opening 2 laps. Go down to Ray Zerkart and Joe Tacasio in P20. Those guys well and truly off the pace, so they got a lot of work to do there. We've got Anderson and Schaefer in P21 and 22. So we've got a 25 car field. We've got Potts, Hamilton, then Harvey. Those guys rounding out the rest of the field here. So we're going to be going out under caution. So everyone will be going, forming up behind the pace car. What have we got going on here? Not sure that was meant to happen. Well, the guy's completely losing the rear end, heating up the tyres a little bit too much, giving a little bit of jandle. So we've got 66 laps for tonight's race. So it's going to be a very chaotic one for the first road course of the season. This is the first of 2. The next coming in the final round in Long Beach, which is one I'm well and truly looking forward to. So the guys just forming up behind the pace car now, getting up to these pre-race ridge rules here and warming up the tyres. And for the first time this season, they're going to have to be really warming up their brakes as well. So it's going to catch a lot of these guys off guard for those that don't have much experience on road courses. Your brakes are definitely important when it comes to Charlotte Roval, that's for sure. So Schultz alongside him, Oliver. Pretty sure Schultz will have the inside line for the race start. See a very crowded field tonight, so there's going to be a lot of action for sure. So you can see a very aggressive Oliver warming up those tyres. Can't heat them up too much though, because you tend to really chew into them pretty early if you overheat them on the formation lap. So it's got to be calculated quite correctly here. So the pace car will drift off left. We've got a car on the escape road there. Not sure what the go is there. A lot of these guys really not getting used to the formation lap on a road course by the looks of it. But it'll be Schultz over Oliver, Mckenzie and Rankin. That's your second row. And Bryant and Pratt will be your third row. So a lot of your key championship contenders. It's a very important round tonight. So here we go, we're about to go green for round 6 of the IndyCar series from Full Throttle Sim Racing. And what a massive jump from Aiden Schultz. He's completely blitzed them in the distance there. Oliver completely caught off guard. And quite a very clean entry heading into turn 1. As for Schultz, he's completely blitzed them before the green flag. We'll hop further back on board with Oliver, who's actually lost out to Darren Mckenzie up ahead. We've already got the first caution for the night. So I'm not sure what's happened here. With a crowded grid, it's definitely going to invite a lot of cautions tonight. So not really getting an indication of what's transpired there. Jimmy Michaels actually crashed. Taylor Bryan also crashed, so it might be worth trying to get a replay up and running just to see what happened at the race start. I think those guys were fighting in the mid-pack, which be quite heavily contested. So you see Bryan parked up in pit lane there. Fortunate scenes for him. Pretty sure he qualified in the top 10 and he's been taken out quite early, unexpected for him. So we'll just get the replay up. So yeah, he's actually had contact with another car. He's been pushed onto the outside. So we'll just quickly have a look at this race start here. So he's fighting inside the top 5 heading into turn 1. And he's actually made the contact with the car ahead in Jimmy Michael. So I reckon he's been caught off guard on the brakes there. And unfortunately has completely ended his night before lap 1 has ended. So there's a lot to look forward to now. Your race leader is still Aiden Schultz, and that start of his has really been caught off guard, and he's actually got that gap minimised now from Dave Oliver and Darren Mckenzie behind, because those guys will be right on his tail now. Now, I'm not sure if we've had any guys come into pit lane. No one's definitely going to be getting home on the fill numbers right now, so splash and dash might help, but then again, track position's also pivotal, so it doesn't really matter if you pit in under green flag here at Charlotte Roval, because you don't really have that draft benefit to work with. So there's definitely going to be a huge variation in pit strategies tonight, which is definitely going to play a factor in determining tonight's winner. So we've still got the lights on the pace car, so we should have at least one more time around here. Simpson, Potts Davey, those guys are all a lap down, so everyone beyond P18 is a lap down. So I'm not sure how many cars actually got caught up in that. But yeah, very chaotic first lap for the first road course of the season, which, to be quite honest, is definitely expected, especially with the congested grid we have tonight. So definitely something else. So I think there'll be a lot of guys that will be wanting to sort of settle it down now, just get into their own grooves, see where it takes them. Won't bring anyone down for an interview under this first caution. It's reasonably early. Guys get up to speed here. So we will not be green flag racing this time around, so drivers got plenty of time to sort of assess what's going to happen once we go green. As for Schultz, alien on road course here at Charlotte Roval, what has he got in store once we come to green flag conditions once again? Is he going to go a similar strategy, or is Darren Mckenzie really going to follow every move heading into the last couple of corners? Because it is Schultz's reaction that gets the better of everyone else behind him. Wait and see if Mckenzie can react fast enough. So there's a lot of people actually making moves in the pit lane. So everyone just catching up to the rear of the train here. Reigning champ, Julian Mookie, is actually a couple laps down, which is very unusual. Not sure what's happened to him this earlier on in this race. He's got a lot of work to do. Lights are out from the pace car, so it'll be green flag racing this lap. Reiterate the grid as it stands. We've got Schultz, Mckenzie, Oliver, Barber. He's up in the P4. Coleman rounds out your top 5. Matty Simpson, he's had a massive launch throughout the field so far, up in the P6. Noble, Pritchard, Tacasio, Bullock, that's your top 10. Go further down, we've got Hamilton, Harvey, Pratt, Malone, Catacazinos, Campbell, Schaefer, Koch, Potts, and then Mookie is your top 20. So a lot of nerves going through the drivers' minds right now. This is the first ever time Full Throttle Sim Racing Leagues has ever run a race on the road Roval course. Thanks for the input there, Michael. So, yeah, obviously definitely something new for a lot of these guys here in the world of Full Throttle Sim Racing. It's definitely definitely going to be something they're going to have to get used to quite quickly, because we've got another road course towards the end of the season in Long Beach for the season finale in the IndyCar series. So chaotic first lap. We'll go green. Start lap 5 here at Charlotte Roval for round 6 from Simracing's IndyCar series. So it'll be Schultz who leads over Mckenzie once we go green once again, and we'll see if Schultz can get that launch off the start once again, but I think Mckenzie's going to be awake to it. He's definitely not easily fooled in Darren Mckenzie. Two Sunstars esports drivers in the top 5. Those guys wanting to be maximising their respective results as well. Both fighting for the championship. Mckenzie and Barber, the young gun, as the championship lead as a result of that chaotic race last week for Mckenzie in the early stage of that one. Right now he's currently sitting in P2, so definitely a change of fortunes for him so far. Let's see if he can keep it clean from here on in. We've still got plenty of laps to go here at Charlotte Roval for things to happen. So here we go green once again. Another huge launch from Schultz there. Mckenzie also been taken completely out of it. Mckenzie holds off Oliver Coleman. Barber's lost position. Noble moves up in the P6 to Casio, Pritchard, Hamilton, Pratt. That's your top 10. There's a lot of shake-ups in the field so far. Go further back, let's see what we got. We'll hop on board in the mid-pack here. Pritchard holding off Pratt. We've got another caution here. So a lot of people that have crashed out from this one. It's actually been brought out from Brian Bullock, so we might actually see what happened there. Might have a fair few laps under caution here. So we'll see what happened here with Bullock. So it's turn 1 once again. It's definitely playing time tonight. They head into turn 1. It's actually been caught up in another braking maneuver there, and it's completely set off a chain reaction at the back of the field as well. We've got a couple total cars there that are completely down and out. That was Catacasinos as well on screen there. He's been taken out. So this is definitely going to favour a lot of guys getting themselves back into the mix. I reckon Mookie might be able to get back onto the lead lap as a result. So we'll see what happens there. Much going on. Just wait for the guys to really circulate in some green laps, and if there's cautions that proceed after this, then bring some drivers in. Just a very chaotic first few laps here. Not unexpected. Still, nothing has changed at the front of the field. Schultz still remains as your race leader. They'll definitely be conserving a lot of fuel under these cautions, that's for sure. So there's going to be a shorter stop for their respective fuel numbers that are required to get them home. So the more laps we run on the caution, the less fuel compromised a lot of these guys are going to be towards the end. It's definitely going to minimise what sort of strategy you can produce in getting track position. I think for Schultz, he's really got every option open. But for a lot of the guys who are in the midfield, it's probably best to actually come in early and get out of that traffic and get yourself into some clean air, because here at Charlotte Roval, that slipstream benefit isn't really a benefit, especially when it comes to the infield. Get all that aero wash that's really required in your low speed corners. So yeah, it'll probably be the best move for the guys that are just outside the top 10, maybe to come into the pits and serve that stop and get as much fuel on board as they can. Try to get out of that dirty air. So we've got a lot of the guys circulating pit lane now. Got Julian sitting in P16, 1 lap down, so he hasn't gained his lap back yet. I'm sure he should be able to be in the lead lap car. So I think we've had 2 corners of green flag racing so far. It's definitely something for the guys to get used to as well. I think we have the lights out from the pace car, so it'll be going green once again here at Charlotte Roval. Be Schultz over Mckenzie. We've got Coleman and Oliver on the second row, Barber and Noble on row 3, Hamilton, Pritchard, Malone and Koch. That's your top 10. So focus will be on the front once again. Let's hope we can get through clean heading into turn 1 this time around. There's going to be a lot of restless drivers after little action being played out, especially for the likes of Schultz, who's extended that lead heading into turn 1 quite substantially and completely lost out due to those 2 cautions coming out. So he really wants to get the work early on and try and build a lead, but it's just not possible when we run under caution conditions for majority of the race so far. So definitely being underpinned there. What sort of pace he can produce here. Hopefully get an indicative form guide of what's to come on this lap.
Green flag, green flag.
So there we go green once again. So Schultz getting the better of everyone else once again, but Mckenzie is closing in right on behind Coleman, Oliver, Noble, Hamilton, Barber, Pritchard, Malone, Koch still your top 10. So we're just waiting for the guys to stroll through for a green flag lap here at Charlotte Roval. Schultz extending that lead out quite early here, 1.1 seconds over Mckenzie. So he's really blitzing the field so far. Now, for the likes of Schultz, you'd hope that not too many cautions come out from here on in, because the quicker you gain that advantage with a decent lead over your rivals behind you, if another caution was to come out, you've really chewed up those tyres, and once they're on the rear bumper, you're not really in a position to really fight with those guys behind you. So there's got to be a sense of trying to calm it down just a little bit as well. trying to conserve tyres in the process without that sort of thing unfolding. So as for Schultz, he's probably just going to try get to an interval and try to hold it from there. Here with Oliver. He started on the first row. He's down in P4 now. He's got Coleman ahead and Noble behind. So I think he's just getting into his own rhythm. We've got Carnage in the background there. Puff of smoke heading into turn one. No caution out yet. Really gaining ground on Coleman ahead. Coleman being the sole achiever so far in this race. So that's our first green flag lap here at Charlotte Roval. And Schultz with a 1.1 second lead over Darren Mckenzie. Two top race winning contenders tonight. Go on battle here at Charlotte Roval. 105.6 was Schultz's last lap. Decent green flag lap there for Schultz. So these top four have really blitzed away from the rest of the field. I think Noble been in the best of the rest so far. We'll hop on board with him and see if we got a battle going on for P5. So he's also got a lot of clean air around him. Next closest, and Hamilton's completely lost it in the background. He's actually held on to it. He's had to cut the corner there. Obviously wasn't going to be able to turn it in. Pritchard is a fair way back from this pack as well. He's 10 seconds back from Hamilton. 105.2. The laps get quicker and quicker from Aiden Schultz. A 106.4 for Darren Mckenzie. He's drifting further and further back from Schultz lap after lap by quite a lot. So Schultz blitzing the field in the early stage here at Charlotte Roval. Race distance tonight has been shortened to 150. We usually have the traditional 200 miles on for the IndyCar series around ovals. Tonight will be 150 around this road course at Charlotte. Hamilton's up into the top five. Noble behind. Further forward on board with your race leader in Aiden Schultz. Take you on board for a lap here around the Roval. Quite interesting to see if he can set another fast lap. Very easy on the throttle through turns 1 and turn 2. And turn 3, turn 4. Very off-camber corners there, these ones. It's pretty much the whole infield to say the very least. A lot of blind corners as well. It's very hard to get on the power through this section. Very easy to lose the rear end as we enter the bank corner here at Roval. Going down the back straight, heading into the first two chicanes. Bit of lap traffic up ahead for Schultz. Keeping it smooth for that chicane there. Very good driver control. Very comfortable in the cockpit. He's got a 3.6 second lead over Mckenzie. That car off to the left hand side. That last lap was a 105.6. So very decent race pace here from Schultz. That's why he's holding quite a comfortable lead over Darren Mckenzie, who isn't any easy beat whatsoever. He's just getting outclassed so far from Aiden Schultz. So Mckenzie also extending that gap out over Oliver at P3. So Oliver's moved up from P4 to P3 in the recent past. Completely blitzed the rest of the field. Hamilton the best in West so far in P4, just in picture now. I think Hamilton's just starting to too many times so far. Track limits will definitely be in question there. Noble in the green car behind. Very fast, a massive lockup for Hamilton heading into turn one. He's lucky not to completely bin it into the wall. He scraped the outside ball there out of the turn two. They have a little bit of suspension damage after that. Noble got caught out a little bit out of turn one. Really blitzing away ahead of Mckenzie. So we've only got 9 cars on the lead lap. It's a very unusual picture in the IndyCar series. Going on for P4 here. It's Hamilton who's got the upper hand over Pritchard and Noble. So we'll hop on board with Pritchard. He's getting a lot of pressure from behind in Noble now. Looks as though Hamilton has flat spot on the tyres, so it's going to be a very bumpy ride for him. Vibrations come through the steering wheel. It's not going to be a good feeling. Starting to see those braking zones start to extend further and further back, lap after lap for Hamilton. He's been relegated back to P7 now, and he's in the pit lane. Cameras. Hop on board with Schultz. He's actually lost out a little bit on the previous lap to Mckenzie. And Mackenzie's really starting to up the pace now. Schultz just trying to remain consistent here. So you can see Mckenzie in the background there. I reckon he's got a lap car to deal with. It's definitely going to play into Schultz's favour here. Reigning champ Mookie, sitting all the way back in P15, is really struggling tonight. Last week's race winner, a lap down, pretty much completely down and out. Just out to salvage as much points as he can as a quest to defending his championship title. Here for Sunstars Esports. Lap traffic to contend with up ahead, which isn't going to play into his favour. these lead guys have pitted in yet either, so everyone else that's a lap down, as far as I'm aware, they made a pit stop. Whether or not that is the critical lap that they pitted in on is a question that I can't answer, so wait and see. He has to make another stop, so he might feel compromised. Now it's Schultz over Mckenzie and Oliver, that's your top three, and those guys are the only guys on the lead lap. Mckenzie making easy prey of this lap traffic. It's going to take a little bit getting used to as well for the guys that haven't experienced much road course racing at full throttle. In the first road course that they've hosted tonight, it's definitely a different picture for all the drivers here. This is why we see a lot of what's going on right now. Everyone just trying to find their own groove, trying to work with that. Battle pack here. Up on board with Pritchard. Actually got a couple of cars in behind. Checking out. He's got Malone in behind for Sunstars Esports. These two guys are teammates. Catacasinos and Matty Simpson in behind as well. So they're not too far off. Catacasinos also had a little bit of carnage at the start for his race. And, inside the top 10 right now is a credit to his persistence so far. Unfortunately, a lap down. Yeah, absolutely, Michael. You told me about 30 minutes ago that's what it was going to be. Schultz, Mckenzie and Oliver, those guys are red hot tonight. I can't see anyone getting past them. And yeah, I think Schultz is in a league of his own above those two guys as well, which is insane from what's going on right now. That's not Schultz, Mckenzie or Oliver, if you were to stay on the lead lap, it's definitely a testament to your skill against those guys, because they're very quick and they're not looking back from here. Lap times are dropping off just a little bit from those front guys, but those tyres are really getting worked into. So lap times have drifted off a further 2 seconds back in the 107s. So I'm not sure how much track conditions are changing, but it looks as though the race leaders are really struggling right now. Maybe a little bit slippery out there. A little bit of an oversteer moment coming onto the bank corner there for Mckenzie, so it shows a little bit of struggle city here. Braking zones extending further and further back, lap after lap, which isn't unexpected. We don't have infinite tyre wear. I think every driver out in the field would wish that's the case. Still early days, only a third of the way through. The top three only separated by 10 seconds, and at a road course, if you can get into the right groove at the right time, then it definitely pays dividends, you know, towards the end of the race. I it comes to the last 10 laps, you would want to be within at least 3 seconds of the race lead to have a fighting chance. I think for Mckenzie, he's just got to try hold on to where he is now and, you know, gain time where possible on his race-winning contender in Aiden Schultz ahead. Even a lot of the guys that are down Roval Catacasinos, those guys are setting some solid 107s there as well. So it's definitely evening out as we get further into this race. So Mckenzie, the first of the front runners in. Then Oliver the follow. Still got Aiden Schultz out on track, and he still remains to be your race leader here at Charlotte Roval. Pretty sure the guys coming in now are going to change the tyres as well. Then Aiden Schultz might actually respond this lap because there's definitely going to be an undercut benefit from this. He's going to have to respond now if he's to take that out of the equation. So you know the pace difference on newer tyres in comparison to older tyres. We've had the evidence just a couple laps ago, drifting 2 seconds off the pace. So here we go, as expected, Schultz in. So he's responding to the undercut from the guys behind. Now let's see where he ends up coming out of pit lane. So tour in the paddock now. We'll hop on board with Mckenzie. So he's coming out the first chicane now. Head to the last couple of corners. So it's going to be touch and go here. Schultz still in the pits. Heading into the last chicane now for Mckenzie. Crossing the control line. Schultz is back out on track. That really is going to be touch and go. I reckon he's definitely got to benefit from making the lap earlier stop. So that difference now is just under 3 seconds. It was extended out to 5.2. Just before Mckenzie came in the pit lane, so good strategy play there from him to chip into that. Noble and Malone, those guys are in pit lane now as well. Catacasinos is up into the top 5 in P4. Oliver's also gained as well, so those two guys really gained the undercut there. Having a lot older tyres isn't really much of a difference either, so it is still anyone's game. Mckenzie really gaining a lot of ground now. Having to contend with lap traffic. Catacasinos on the lead lap now as well. Over in P5. Just hopping on board now. The broadcast. It's been a three-man show. Mckenzie and Oliver. We've had 2 cautions to start the night as well. First 10 laps, we had 2 corners of green light racing. Guys settling into their own grooves now, and it's really giving us a lot of green flag racing for the recent past. Last caution coming out just before lap 10. Last 2 laps. Schultz got the upper hand on the previous lap by 0.3 of a second over Mckenzie. Mckenzie still within 3 seconds from Schultz ahead. So he's really keeping that lead intact there. Just trying to track down Schultz. He's trying to make it work gradually. Doesn't want to work into it too quickly. Go further ahead. Lap traffic line still. Barely anything in the last lap there between Schultz and Mckenzie. Just dropped off a little bit. Mckenzie struggling just a little bit now. Getting a lot of understeer. There's too much grip on the track. You got a lot of grip available, and sometimes it can be your downfall as well. Further down, there's really no battle packs. Start with Throttle. You've got Catacasinos, who's 7/10 of a second behind Noble, so we'll see what's going on there. There's Catacasinos right on the rear bumper of Noble. Bit of lap traffic to contend with. I think that's Mookie, the reigning champ, on the outside in the yellow car there. So heading to the chicane. Get an onboard view with Catacasinos. Definitely got a lot of closing speeds and speed in the braking zones. Better traction on exit. Unfortunately, that top round not able to capitalise there. Place at the right time, especially when you come through the infield section here at Charlotte. Barely any overtaking opportunities. Fast flowing infield for a road course. With a couple low speed corners that give you an alright chance at overtaking your opponents, but still very risky. Saying that as well. It's definitely a long time to be going through the chicanes. Catacasinos is really trying to exploit that now. Noble's driving the widest IndyCar you can ever see. Making it very hard for Catacasinos to get an overlap wherever on track. It's not easy to come by right now. Still remains nothing between these two. Just recently, Schultz has extended that lead over Mckenzie by a further two and a bit seconds on the last couple of laps. So looks as though Schultz is really getting into it now. that last lap difference. That's 4 tenths of a second in favour of Schultz over Mckenzie. So it's a very unexpected pace from Schultz. Almost pumping out top 10 qualifying times right there. It's unreal scenes. Scott McLaughlin-White. Further back once again on board with Noble, still holding off Catacasinos. This battle has really been going on forever here. Catacasinos has a lot of braking performance that he's not able to make the most of. He's very comfortable on the brakes and got a lot of closing speed, but once it comes to corner exit, he's really scared to really put pedal to the metal of the throttle. Really needs to get on it early and try it. Get as much traction as early as possible for the mid-corner. This could be Catacasino's opportunity. In the slipstream now, he might be able to have an opportunity to send it. At the last chicane, he's going to try and take the outside, which is the inside for this corner here. Oh, they touch. Hopefully to find another day. Not sure if they sustained any damage from that when you heard it. So, quite a decent tap there. No parts flying anywhere, so assuming all is okay. Just over the halfway point. We've had 2 cautions for tonight so far. Just reiterating the standings right now. So Schultz over Mckenzie, Oliver, Noble, Catacasinos is your top 5. Pritchard, Malone, Simpson, Barber, Campbell is your top 10. Mookie's had a qualifying fight back so far, just outside the top 10. P11 Rankin, unfortunately not able to make the most of what his oval form is heading into this road course round, but he's actually recorded the fastest lap of the session. Speaking about that, so 104.9 is the fastest lap in this race so far in favour of Rankin. We've got Koch, Bullock, Tocasio, Hamilton, Coleman, Schaefer, Bryant and Potts, the top 20. Here we go. We might be able to see an overlap get done here. He really needs to get past Noble because that pace is realistically enough to gap Noble if he can get ahead of him. There, separating each other by 1.5 tenths. Schultz still charging out front. It's unbelievable form from Schultz here at Charlotte Roval. Also having a little bit of a hiccup tonight so far as well. don't think anyone has anything in the bag to really attack Schultz right now. So I think if you're Mckenzie, you're probably hoping for a late race caution just to bring it to Schultz that way. Otherwise, it's going to be quite a comfortable victory for Schultz if it remains as is. So can't really see anyone chipping into that deficit. No easy beats whatsoever in Mckenzie and Oliver. I reckon the pace from Schultz is just been set to a completely new level. Pit stop to come. Might be a possibility. Not sure what fill numbers look like for the drivers on track. Pretty much just half the field that are sitting out in this session as well. So we've only got 14 drivers out on track. So we've got Campbell coming in to pit lane. Lap down. 107.5 106.4. He's really starting to find his mojo now. And that battle between Roval and Catacasinos is still going on. That in the background? Is that Catacasinos? He's actually lost out there big time. Doesn't look comfortable in the tyre set. He's going to have to probably bring it back in the pit lane. Been lucky not to have flat spotted those tyres as a result of that. Something that's starting to heat up here with Mckenzie's pace right now. Last couple of laps, he's beat Schultz. So there's definitely been some progress being made for Mckenzie. As for Oliver, he's not on the same level as Mckenzie at this stage. The lap's ticking down quite quickly now. It's now or never for Darren Mckenzie. Pace looks like here on board with Mckenzie. So we've got another green flag stop, and this will be the last for the drivers. So Mckenzie's the first to respond. Expect Schultz to follow station the next time around. On the infield right now, getting through pretty quickly as well. So Oliver opts to stay out. Not sure why the change in strategy. Probably should have just followed in Mckenzie. Schultz in. Mckenzie's coming down the back straight now. Reasonably quick pit transit, so Schultz should get out ahead once again. play a key factor. The time can really be chipped into. Now, Oliver's your new race leader, but he has not made another stop yet, so I'm not sure if he's actually filled to the end. We'll wait and see as the race progresses in this later stage. So you can see Schultz just re-entering, coming out of pit lane a few moments ago now. Now Mckenzie's just shy of 2.5 seconds behind him now. So he's really chipped into that deficit that he had prior to the pit stop. Assuming Schultz is on cold tyres, so it's Mckenzie's opportunity to make the most of it now. With black traffic up ahead, that's also going to play a key role. Absolutely, Noble's been doing an extraordinary job. Casino's it, yeah, he did lose out a few laps ago as well. He actually lost the rear end heading into the first chicane. He's actually making hay once again. So Mckenzie up in the P2. So Oliver's coming to pit lane. Now the deficit for Mckenzie is 2.1 seconds. So there's barely anything in it between the top two. Noble over Catacasinos for P4. That gap 3.6 seconds. Traffic up ahead. Easily get there. This is where the tempers are going to fly here. Just having to avoid black traffic, and it's definitely cost him a lot of time. I think that was Koch in the way of Mckenzie. Unfortunately, wrong place at the wrong time for Koch. Couldn't really get out of it through the mid-corner of the last chicane. It's pretty much impossible to fit too wide through that section on the circuit. So now it's definitely cost Mckenzie a lot of time, so he's actually lost 1 second as a result of that. It's not over yet. Quickly hop on board with Noble. He's still got Catacasinos chasing him from behind. We've got another battle starting to heat up with some of the lap guys in Mookie, Barber and Rankin. Hop on board with the young gun, championship leader. Unfortunately, Fortune's not playing the same this week so far. Should get a decent haul of points if he can hold on to a top 10 finish, but relatively easy for Rankin to send it down the inside. Noble in pit lane. Catacasino still out on track. Pritchard, Malone, Simpson. And then we've got Mookie and Rankin as your top 10. Traffic from Mckenzie, accelerating champ Mookie, 6 and P9. So 1:05.3. Oliver's best lap in this race. It's a personal best. The best we've had for the night so far in race trim is from Rankin, set at 1:04.9. He's currently sitting in P10. Taking the high line, just get out of the way of Mckenzie. So making it relatively easy for him. So last 20 laps coming right up. Decent buffer for Schultz in P1 over Mckenzie, who's 4.7 seconds down. So Mckenzie looks as though like he actually gained all that time in pit lane and it's just been completely disregarded, sent in the opposite direction. So not a good sign for him, but regardless, phenomenal result so far. Only cars on the lead lap. It's definitely a fine effort. It's all about survival when it comes to the horses. For the top three guys that have come out and survived tonight so far, that's why track position is pivotal. If you're caught up in the midfield, you get caught up in a little bit of that early race carnage. The first two cautions really got a lot of people caught up. It's really separated the field by quite a lot. As you see, we've got pretty much half the field out, sitting in pit lane. It's now or never for Darren Mckenzie now. Dave Oliver, I don't think he's going to contend for a race victory tonight. Hold on for an easy podium finish. He's got a lap in hand over Noble pretty much, so there's really no pressure for the foreseeable future. And even if it does pop up, I don't think he'll lose out. He's able to get those tyres to work in quite quickly. Evidence of having it correct here. Smooth inputs through this infield section. With IndyCar, you really don't want to have to drive the wheels off it to be fast. You really want to be fast and smooth. That's the whole key of being fast in IndyCar. Being precise with your inputs. A car off there as well. This lap traffic is really going to hurt Schultz now. Darren Mckenzie will also come up upon it in the near future. Last lap would not really be indicative of what sort of pace Schultz could potentially have, so 1:06.5, bad time for that lap traffic in the last sector. Mckenzie also pretty much holding the same time as well, so barely anything in it on the previous lap, those two guys. He also came in the pit lane recently. He's been caught out from Noble, so Noble's actually got that gap out for P4, 7.2 seconds over Catacasinos. That is definitely a result of the undercut. And again, younger tyres for Catacasinos, play himself into a top 4 finish. If he can record personal best laps for a little while here. That lap for him was a 1:06.9, so it's a 10th off Noble in the previous lap. Is another one of our championship contenders. He's had a race victory this season as well, so you really want to get a big haul of points here tonight at Charlotte. If you can hold on to this top 5, then it's definitely going to be a good sign for the last half of season for him. He's within striking distance from the championship lead, which I think will be in favour of Mckenzie once again. Young teammate Ryan Barber sitting in P11 as your championship leader right now. So definitely going to have another massive shake-up. So the key contenders running outside. Mookie Simpson, usual pole getter, is sitting outside the top 5. As well, he's had some decent form in the recent past. He's only just sitting inside the top 10. Laps to play here at Charlotte. Race leader in Schultz. So he's got quite a comfortable lead. Not sure what's actually happened. Schultz is 30.7 second lead over Mckenzie. So has Mckenzie come in for another stop? I'm just going to quickly check his events. Yes, so Mckenzie's actually come in the pit lane again, so yeah, Schultz follows as well. So they were fuel compromised for a little while. Should be filled up to the end. It's the undercut. I wouldn't really call it an undercut right now, to be honest, if there was no change for tyres. We'll wait and see what happens here. So Schultz is out on track. Once again, Mckenzie's actually chipped into that deficit by just under 1 second, so he really closes in quite quickly under these green flag stops. Schultz on screen, 2 seconds ahead of Mckenzie, so it's all or nothing here for these two guys. As for Mckenzie, officially holds the lead of the championship, so we really want to try anything too out there. Take both of those guys out, Schultz and himself. So definitely something he wouldn't want to do, so he's going to consider all of his realistic options from here on in. To none right now. Schultz is struggling just a little bit right now. Not sure why. Didn't Fastest, but then, yeah, fastest for Darren Mckenzie of the session. A 104.4 plays a 104.9. So that's completely blitzed them. Or not, Mckenzie can keep up this pace is another question. So he's really heated up those tyres. So giving him a little bit of understeer here and there. Definitely going to be a comfortable feeling. Casino's got the better of Noble as well. So Casino's up in the P4. He's extending that gap out to just over 9.5 seconds. So Noble's a little bit caught out at some point. It's really cost him a lot of time. Alone in pit lane, Pritchard moves up in the P6. Lap traffic to contend with, but not much of an issue there. I think that was his young teammate in Barber. Struggling just a little bit. He's sitting inside the top 10 now. So 11 laps to go. Still anyone's game, or anyone's race to win. Out the top two at Schultz and Mckenzie. Really no room for error there. Using every bit of road available. Helicam gives us a better view of what's going on here through the infield. Shows you where the drivers actually position their car for each and every single corner here. Unfortunately for Mckenzie, he lost out a little bit. It's 0.4 of a second on the previous 2 laps. So it's something that he's really got to assess right now if he's to keep his hopes of winning this race alive. Whoa, almost clips the inside wall there. Oh no, Mackenzie's lost it and he's down and out. He's parked it up. Unfortunate scenes there once again. I'm not sure why that happened. Looks like he just got unsettled over the curb and it completely took him out. The car gripped up to the track and just fed him into the wall. And that has pretty much gifted Schultz the victory here tonight. Even though we've still got 9 laps to go, but with 28 seconds in hand over Oliver, the only lead lap car, is completely done. We haven't seen much of Simpson tonight, nor have we seen too much of Mookie. So it's 4 seconds off of Simpson here. Inside lock up there for Simpson. Based on this, will hold the championship lead. Move up in the P9 once he passes Darren Mckenzie. He's up and out. At those times, just a little bit too much and recording those fast lap times for a short period there. Once again, another DNF, not going to play into his favour. Really going to catch him off guard heading into the final half of the season. Almost every race from here on in to really even have a chance. That's Simpson let Mookie on by there quite easily. I think Simpson's in any position to really fight for position there. Schultz with a comfortable lead over Oliver. Catacasinos in the top 3 in a podium paying position right now over Noble, and Pritchard is your top 5. You've got Malone, Mookie, Simpson, Barber, Mckenzie who's down and out, and soon to be pipped by Koch in the near future. We've got Campbell. Rankin's actually out as well. So we've only got 11 cars out on track based on that data from the live timing. 6 laps to play here as well, so 6 laps here left. It's near impossible for Oliver to really chip into that. Just hoping for a lot of mistakes from Schultz, which is not going to happen. It just proves that consistency is key at road courses as well. Although you can set up, fastest laps of the session, sort of lose out at some point on that stint, as we saw with Mckenzie a few laps ago now. It's sort of the thing that if you want to win a race at a road course, you're really going to have to do that lap after lap. Really want to be in with a decent chance. And Schultz has had nothing go wrong tonight as well with his consistency, so it's all about luck and consistency when it comes to road courses, with one more to come in the later stage of the season for the finale at Long Beach. That's going to be one that the drivers are really have to assess after this one, and especially with there not being much road available. You can barely go 2 wide at Long Beach alone. Trying to keep it on track and keep it consistent is going to be an even harder feat as well. smells starting to heat up with any of the guys throughout the field. Also the reality of road courses as well. You can either have a very close race, or you can have a race that's just been completely dominated by one driver. And that, in the favour of Schultz, is what we're experiencing tonight. Long Beach will be a completely different kettle of fish, because it does give the drivers a lot of nerves. The circuit is very narrow. There's not really any room for error. You can be taken out pretty much instantly. Sorry. It's a decent pace towards the end. Casino's in the pits, so I'm not sure what that is going to do. Race for a podium finish there. Let's see if Noble can actually get the better here. Flag for Schultz. He's on the penultimate lap now. About halfway through the first lap already. Quite progressed through the infield right now, so we'll hop back on board with him. He's about to enter the back straight here for the second last time. Very commanding victory. Really no one had anything to respond to here. It's been a complete domination, leading every lap of this race. So, well, besides when he came in for a pit stop and to stay out, it's the only exception. So, pretty much leading almost every lap. It's definitely a very commanding victory, a well-deserved one, that's for sure. So there we go. White flag is out. Aiden Schultz, car 5. Casinos comes out in P3 as well, so 2 cars on the lead lap. It's definitely a massive result in the first 2 portions and the only 2, which the first 10 laps, so just gives you a bit of a gist of what happened, why the field is so separated. But yeah, something for the drivers to get used to as well. So not too much road course action being seen. Yeah, over racing series for that matter. So it's good to get a variation of what's going on. Sort of connected up the real thing as well. So here we go. Last couple of corners now for Schultz. Comes home with a very comfortable victory over Oliver and Catacasinos. And that will be your podium getters tonight. Oliver's coming around the last couple of corners now. Come home in P2. We only had 11 finishes tonight. The rest of the guys are parked up. One of our race winning favourites in Darren Mckenzie. One of those guys that are sitting out. So 2 DNFs, 2 weeks running, so not good signs for him heading into the last half a season, so he's got a lot of work to do. Schultz, on the other hand, very well-deserved victory for himself. Sipping champagne in victory lane for Aiden Schultz. He'd really be loving this one tonight. King of road courses so far in the IndyCar series. Completely blitzed the field, leading all but one lap. So shows you what sort of pace he had throughout the whole race. I don't think anyone was going to get anywhere near him, really. The only realistic option was Darren Mckenzie to get the better of him, but fortunately for Mckenzie, he lost a little bit of grip and fortunately ended up into the outside wall out of the last corner. So we'll get through with these post-race interviews to take place in a few moments' time. So we just wait for the guys to tick on through, and then we'll have a chat to the podium getters tonight. We got Michael congratulating Aiden on his deserved victory. So Australia, New Zealand esports, and Aiden Schultz comes out victorious tonight. So I'll just head in their room and we'll get through these post-race interviews, so we'll just get a feel for what the drivers are feeling right now.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, how come you're on the primaries the whole time?
Hi, Blake.
Howdy, do I have a green red?
Oh, you need to have your voice up.
Oh, is it turned down?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I'm just using my old headset, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay. Let me see if I can turn you up from my end. Okay.
Got a copy?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So, Aiden, a very commanding victory tonight from lap 1. You look no further from going back. You're just looking at going forward. How you feel tonight after quite a comfortable victory?
I feel like I just got out of the shower, mate. I am drenched with sweat. But, yeah, no, it was a bit of fun.
There was a little bit of a scare coming in the last 20 laps or so with Darren actually recording the fastest lap of the session by half a second. Was that a bit of a scare to yourself, or?
No, not at all. I was covering him off all race. Every time he hit it, I covered him off the next lap. I knew it was going to be a run in that last little stint there. I sort of rolled out for a couple of laps because I knew I would have needed something for the end if he could get to the back of me, but I didn't feel that he had the pace at all. He could get to about 3 seconds, 3.5, but it never really got any closer. I think when he put those good laps in, it was about 1.7, but yeah, I was just managing that gap, managing the tyres. I was a little bit worried on fuel there in the end, but with 5 to go, I had about 8 laps, so I was fine.
Yeah. So I guess he got on the back end of the aero wash and sort of used up his tyres, and you sort of capitalised off of that, I guess is what the go was there.
Yeah, possibly. I think he made a bit of a mistake. He was quick, very quick. I was always keeping an eye on him. It was a battle that was going all race. But I'd kept all my push to passes. I had everything there. So if it was going to be a battle, I think it was going to be elbows out and a bit of fun. But it was really unfortunate for Darren to have that little bit of a lose because I was interested to see what the final 20 laps were going to bring.
Absolutely. Now, next week we go to a completely different circuit once again, the Milwaukee Mile, a short oval course this season. What are your chances looking like there?
No idea. This is my first run in the IndyCars. I've never raced the IndyCar before. I've done one official in it, and that's it. And I come in tonight. So my other league that I ran on Monday nights finished up tonight. I was out of contention, so I just jumped in here. So I'll be at the remainder of the rounds for the season. But short answer to your question, even though I just exaggerated a bit, I got no idea, mate.
Well, it's definitely something that's putting something on my mind as well. It's a short oval. It's definitely going to bring up a lot of action as well. So it's going to be very unpredictable.
Yeah, it will do. Hopefully people are a little bit more patient than what they were tonight. I know there was a bit of incidents early on that ruined a few contenders' races. So hopefully next week, yeah, people behave themselves a little bit and get into the groove before we start getting a bit crazy.
Absolutely. Is there anyone you'd like to thank tonight for your victory?
As I always do, my beautiful partner Prue, she's my number one supporter. All the guys at Aussie Esports. Ruben actually jumped across after winning the NSCAR trucks tonight, so congratulations to Ruben. He spotted for me for probably the last half of the race. Big congratulations to Brett and Tristo as well, teammates. Sport and the Paint, of course, the league for putting it on, you for broadcasting it, especially Dave and Sam for P2 and P3. Great job, guys. And yeah, just all the other competitors for making it a bit of fun.
Awesome, mate. Great to have you on board. Dave, we got a green.
Yeah, mate.
Awesome effort tonight, mate. I was given a bit of insider info from Michael a little bit earlier, saying that you would have been one of the red hot contenders tonight, and it obviously proved that you definitely were sitting in the top 3 for the majority of the night. What's the feeling?
Oh, I'm just glad it's over. It's like, especially, once we kind of got going after those couple yellows and everything kind of spaced out, it was just, keep it clean and all that kind of stuff. And Aiden and Darren kind of just, edged away throughout the stints, which was, fine. Yeah, sometimes, you'd bring it back a second or two, but that was due to traffic and stuff like that. But yeah, other than that, it was just trying to keep it off the walls. And I think I only had one off track where I overshot this first chicane on the back straight once. So pretty happy not to use a fast repair at all tonight.
Absolutely. It's definitely quite a technical infield as well. There's a lot of off camber, a lot of blind corners, and the two chicanes are quite difficult as well. So definitely quite an effort to crack up 66 laps of that. And for you to come out P2 is definitely a credit to your pace and persistence. And yeah. So next week we got Milwaukee Mile. What are your thoughts on that?
I pretty much shadow Aiden's there. I'm not too sure. I've only I think I did the Auto Club a few rounds ago. That was my first start in the series, and so yeah, it'd be interesting. I just figured I'd jump in tonight, and because I do have a lot of road course experience, so it was just see how I go with tonight, and did pretty well. So if I'll try and jump on and see how I go. So
awesome. Is anyone you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, firstly, Synergy Simracing, DO Photo, and Bin Chicane Racing. So, and plus to yourself and to the guys who run the league for putting it on.
Awesome, mate. Great to have you on board for this round. Hope to see a lot more of you in the near future.
Cheers. Thanks, mate.
Sam, we got a green.
Yeah, I'm here.
Unexpected podium finish tonight. What do you reckon?
Mate, I can't believe it was worth hanging around because after those two restarts and both times having to go into the pits to get the repairs done, because I never survived either of those first two restarts, and even the third one I got a tap, so that immediately got me up to 12 points, and I had to do a drive-through straight away. So
oh wow,
that was fun.
Very chaotic.
And then and then after that, it was a case of bring it home and don't get another incident point because I got up to 16 of 17 and I was able to bring it home. I had to fight for a couple of positions. Worth it. Yeah, it was worth me staying. I still can't believe I got a podium. I started ninth and then first restart, second restart, third restart, I was pretty much at the back of the grid and just had to fight my way through that, which was a lot of fun. But to be honest, I wish those first restarts weren't there and we all got away cleanly. But that wasn't the case.
Yeah, unfortunately, that stuff happens. But yeah, to come out on the podium, you had quite a couple of battles that we were watching on quite closely, especially with Noble throughout that mid stage. You had a little bit of a moment just before the final pit stop where you lost it at the first chicane.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yeah, we actually
I got up to Sean Noble and I couldn't get around him, and I was trying a lot. I was trying different spots here and there. He had this amazing exit coming out of the infield onto the oval back straight.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get him, and I was umming and ahhing. Should I use my push to passes? In the end, I didn't actually use any of them. And yeah, I'm not even sure. Someone mentioned something before I got in the green room. Apparently, I needed to change my sets of tires, but I need to confirm that. Yeah, so I'll try to get around Sean. I tried in the pits and I couldn't do it. And then in the end, I had an opportunity to take him at turn 1. And I think with a bit of help with the back marker, I was able to take it and run away with it. So I didn't have a clear head for racing tonight. If you watch closely, you'd probably see red mist coming out of my helmet the whole race. So I was pretty angry with how the start went and where I ended up and had to work from. And yeah, I wasn't fuel strategizing or anything. Just I had to have a quick splash at the end of the race. so I can keep going and get to the end, which put me a lap down. I was hoping to stay on the lead lap, but that wasn't the case. But yeah, look, it's a podium. I certainly fought for it. Wasn't handed it to me, so like Aiden said, I'm sweating like it's like buckets full of sweat. I need to get up and stretch. But yeah, it was a fun night of racing.
Awesome. Yeah, it's all about making the most of those poor starts to a race, and obviously that's what you've done. Persisted with what was put forward to you, and yeah, persistence got you where you are now, and being a championship contender as well in the IndyCar series next week, Milwaukee Mile. What's the go there for yourself? Are you going to try go out and win the thing outright, or are you just trying to get a big bulk of points and, sort of...
Oh, I want to win, but yeah, I just have to keep going. As for the track itself, Milwaukee, I love that track. That track is super awesome, and I don't care what kind of oval vehicle you're driving. I racing NASCAR Class A, B, or C, or the IndyCar, or anything. That track is awesome because, especially with oval cars, your tires wear out, and you really got to manage that tire wear. And both ends of the track are completely different in terms of how you take them. And I thoroughly enjoy Milwaukee. I'm actually looking forward to it.
Gives me a lot more to look forward to then. Definitely an expert when it comes to Milwaukee.
Well, I won't say expert, but lots of laps.
Lots of laps.
You get used to the track.
It's definitely all about seat time anyway, so...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Being comfortable with what you got. Having some nice equipment, and ultimately for me, a nice seat to be able to hold my frame for so long, and just keep it together. So I'm happy with that.
Awesome. Is there anyone you'd like to thank tonight?
Oh, you for broadcast, the Metamonin Broadcast Network. Congratulations to Aiden and Dave for first and second spot, and thanks to the organisers for putting this together. It's a very fun league and a very fun series, and I am looking forward to coming back next Monday.
Awesome, mate. Great to have you on board, and yeah, good luck for the future rounds ahead, and hopefully we'll see you in victory lane once again this season.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks.
Thanks, mate. So there you have it. That was the thoughts from the podium finishers. That was round 6 of the IndyCar series hosted by Full Throttle Simracing. So next broadcast we got up coming Thursday night in the Full Throttle Simracing's Truck Series. So that's going to be another hotly contested round and a lot more action to come. So I hope to see you there. But for now, in between then, stay safe, and I'll